he was chasing the girls around, and he was begging lunch for gas coupons all the time, and those school bus could have as many as he wanted if they needed.
Lawrence got coupons because he drove a bus,
yeah.
so he wanted some of them.
He kept begging them all the time. Every damn day he was riding the bus. Hey, gotta have some coupons. Gotta get some gas money for tonight.
Yeah.
They could use all the gas they needed, you know, for
gas
for their tractors and stuff like that.
About all I can remember at home was to buy sugar.
Yeah.
To have
was an issue.
We just get so much, but we had a big family, so it went according to family.
But didn't you tell me once that you had to mix something in the margarine to make it yellow?
Oh, well, we never used margarine because my dad said, I'm a farmer, I'm going to have butter.
Well,
he would not eat margarine.
Margarine was white, you know, before
Well,
they ever passed the law that they could color it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was in the 50s before they got it, so they could color it, you know. Oh, you guys should remember that.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, I know with the butter.
They fought a long time for 2 or 3 years for the legislature to let them color it.
And wasn't there an old blue law in Wisconsin up to the 60s that you couldn't even sell margarine in Wisconsin? The Bolins used to bring you margarine from Illinois.
They did?
Yes, I remember that.
Maybe I baked with it, huh?
Yeah.
Because it was cheaper than butter.
They didn't want it to come back to butter, you know.
Yeah.
I never dated anybody until I was 20 years old. I took a girl to Fairburn to a show.
Yeah, that's what we used to do. Go to a movie.
To a movie.
And hardly ever stopped for anything to eat till we got a little older. It seemed like we just go to the movie and car full of kids and maybe it. And we used to have free movies like at Lafarge, and we lived at Laval in Valley. That was.
The movie at that time was under 30 cents.
Yeah, to get in the theater, I guess it was cheap, but.
And when did you start going to dances? Or were there always dances?
Well, we had an old wind-up phonograph at home. It had belonged to my great aunt who had lived with us at one time, so she let us kids use it. She had a lot of records. We would wind it up and play that, and we'd dance around the living room, my sisters and I. We learned how to dance. We had a neighbor girl, she was our only daughter, and her folks went to a lot of dances. She was a couple of years younger than I was, so at least a year younger. When we were about 13, 12, she was teaching us how to dance, because she knew she went with her folks a lot. And so we danced to those old wind-up records.
How about you, Dad? How'd you learn to dance?
You probably had to go to the Eagles Hall up there.
Yeah.
That's where we met. When, in 1949, New Year's Eve. That was when I first met him. So. Or New Year's Eve of 1949, yeah. That would have been the last day of 48, right? I don't know, something like that. And my brother Walt and my couple sisters, so the whole car was load of us would go to Bareboat from Laval at that time. And the dancing went on at the Eagle Hall upstairs over a bar. We never bothered with the bar. We just go up to the dance. You know?
Where is this Eagle Hall?
The Eagle Hall? Well, it's across.
Is it still there?
Yeah.
The building is there, but it ain't. There was a tavern underneath.
There was a tavern underneath.
The building is there, but I don't know what's in it.
I don't know either. It may not be at Eagle Hall anymore, but
no.
They used to always have wedding dances or some kind of dance on Saturday nights. That was 1948, 9 in there. And a lot of people went. We met Willis Schultz there. Dad knew him because he was from the neighborhood here. Willis was younger than me. He was kind of probably 8, 9 years younger. But he liked to dance. And so we met a few people like that we got to know. And,
we first went to school, the first year we went to a public school, and it was about 2.5 miles from home, and had a neighbor there, his name was Reinald Pretz, he was, but it was the first, about the same age as Lawrence and I was, we started the school together. Anyway, they had a public school, and they had a woodshed, where they burned a pot-bellied stove to heat the school. Anyway, the women's toilet had a board knocked off on the back end. It was an outhouse, and it was like in the spring of the year when the leaves were on the brush already, and this red fresh, she watched the teacher go in the toilet, and he went and he broke off a stick about that long, went brush out, and he went back when she needed her, broke it up, and rattled it around.
I don't think you want that story.
She come out of there, running all like hell with her pants down.
Oh, man.
I'll never
Guys were
forget
real
that.
little devils, I think.
She made him stay after school for 2 weeks and do work around, scrub and
Did she ever
stuff
get
like
the toilet
that.
fixed?
She even made a pile of wood out in the woodshed. The wood was laying loose, just for him, for penance, She made a pile, rank it up all along the wall on the side.
But she worked it overnight.
So when did you start going to the Catholic school?
Oh, right away. When,
Really?
we went about, just that fall, I think, we went to the public school, and then,
That was 5 miles from home.
yeah,
And
it was
how,
2.5 miles from home. I think I was in the 5th grade,
and you were going to school,
coming home from school.
coming home from school,
Yeah.
and a car passed you and snagged your clothing, your jacket or something?
I don't know what the heck happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was unconscious.
You got dragged for a long, long ways, a mile or two, right?
Yeah, it was in the fall of the year. Ground was froze already, it was gravel road. I had one of them leather caps on, where you buckle them underneath here. I wouldn't have had that on, it would have killed me.
Oh, my Lord.
Off here. It's numb from that,
Your face is still numb from
it's
that?
just shake here. And pinching, feeling.
How did you get into lumber work, Dad?
Well, Martin Meister had a sawmill up in Reedsburg, and we worked for him for $1.50 a day in our room and board.
And Martin Meister was your uncle?
Well, he was,
My mother's,
he
his
was,
mother's
he was a
cousin.
first cousin to my mother.
Okay.
Yeah. That's Meisters, they got all that big stuff over in Reedsburg,
So how old were you when you and Lawrence started working for Martin Meister?
Well, we worked on farms before that for farmers, for $30, $20 a month. And 45 was the most we ever got. And we went over there and we worked for $1.50 a day in room and board. And we worked there, well, March, April, May, June, and July 4th, we heard that Alice Laner, he had a sawmill up in Boston, and he had one truck of his own, and he wanted to hire a truck. We went down by Reedsburg, and we bought a 37 Ford 1.5-ton truck, with just cab and shell for $350. Brought it home, made a platform on it and everything, and got it ready. We all went up there and hauled logs for him. And he had 2 trucks. It was a 35 Ford and a 41 Ford, and he gave us all the damn tough hauling. So we quit that, and then we started. That winter we had up there what do you call it, up by, before you get up to the Glen there was Posen from Merrimack had bought that farm up there and we logged that off, you know. And we had hauled them down back at the barn, and we had Kowalski come down with a sawmill and saw ties. We sawed 2 carloads. There was 1,000 ties out of that. And had them down here by Merrimack, and we loaded them on Martin Meister's tie contract, and he took a nickel a tie, you know, just for nothing, so we could get rid of it. And the tie inspector says, he says, if we can get out 5,000 ties a year, he says, I can call Deslitz in Chicago, the chief persecutor, and we can get a contract. So I said, we'll try it, you know, I know we can get 5,000 out. So that's how we got into it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then hell, we got up to where we got 20,000 ties out a year.
Wow. And
That's
that was
a lot of
all
logs.
before World War II?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how did that work?
Then after the war, we got into it again.
Mm-hmm. Did Lawrence keep doing it during the war?
No.
No?
He had a kidney stone operation. He had trouble with kidney stones all the time while we were working. When he was a teenager, he was 19, we were cutting tie logs up by Shanks's up there. We cut 4,000 ties off of Shanks's hill there that winter, all the way across cut. And he would take a leak and it'd be all blood, you know.
Mm. So he lost a kidney at...
Yeah, he had,
19 years of age.
he had finally, I was in the army and he wrote me and he said he really got a hash mark with his kidney sticking out, you know.
Wow, wow.
He couldn't go in service because of his health.
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
right.
he did have to go.
So how did it work when you were supposed to be drafted and you were doing this work on the ties? I mean...
Well, we had a whole bunch of stuff in the woods. I got deferred for 6 months. They gave me 6 months to get everything cleaned up, you know. And Lawrence didn't do any logging in there. I guess he bought one piece of timber and he cut ties out of that, and he had Kowalski
Was
saw
he
them up by
driving a
Bearable.
school bus while you were
Yeah.
away? That's
And he
all.
bought a school bus and run the school bus for a couple of years,
Yeah.
Bearable High School. At that time, they didn't treat the ties as good as they do now.
Mm-hmm.
Now they even use cement ties. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays they what?
they use cement concrete ties.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it was important, I mean, for the government to have the ties for the railroad for the
Yeah.
war effort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were just treated like that time, you know. They had a place up at Enigo, Wisconsin, where they had a treatment plant.
When they inject something into the ties to make them...
Yeah, they treat them with that blackjack tar, you know.
Oh, sometimes.
They, it's hot and they put them in there a whole bunch of them at a time, and then they drip them off and they put them out. You've seen them how black they were, you know, ties that were stacked up along
Made
the
them kind of waterproof, I suppose?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
treated,
Mm-hmm.
treated, yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
That was before I moved.
Do